Hi, my name is Jonathan Vijagas, and this is my recording for the Tableau 2 project. So first we start off with the data that we were given. It seemed that it was data representation of these bikes that were being sold across the country from a specific manufacturer. And we had our, um, I think it was our road bikes, our mountain bikes, and then the other bikes. So at first, I wanted to be able to represent the data in a certain way to where it's visually appealing across that we can see all the data across the nation. So we can see how I set it up to where we can see the bikes that were sold. That we can see that California and Texas and New York had the most bikes that were sold throughout the nation. But those are big outliers that were selling like the 253,000 100,000 million, so 253 millions, and even they were in the 160 millions. So those are pretty big outliers though, and to get more of an average, that I went and took out those, filtered out the those three states, so that way we can see more of an average across the map, and we can see how like places like Florida, Illinois, and Ohio and Pennsylvania ended up um, showing how that they were selling more on average more than what they were selling before because we took out the outliers. So with that, we were able to see more how like what the rest of the nation was selling. So I wanted to look at the big top three though of California and New York because as if we are a company that is trying to sell and have the most profit, then we'd be looking at the states that are selling the most, and that I split them up to where we could see them to how much they were selling by year, and to see if there's any patterns or anything that we can notice, and that I saw that um, throughout the years up until 2017, that each one they were increasing in their sales, especially for the road bikes. Which in I think I have another tab that you can see that road bikes were the highest sold throughout the whole entire nation, and that if somebody was really trying to focus on what type of bike they would sell, they would definitely focus into the road bikes. But anyways, so we were seeing that there was an increase in sale up until 2017. Now, especially um, in all of them, that they were all selling a whole bunch of road bikes. So you can see there was like $40 million in sales, and the whole thing about bikes is that they last longer than 1 year. And after the 2017 of such a high influx of people selling them or people buying them in that year, that the following year in 2018, there's not going to be a lot of people that are going to have to buy bikes since they already have them. So that's why there was a decrease in bike sales the following year, 2018. And then so I wanted to take it a step further and look at California, which was sold the most, and see exactly year by year in what city it was selling the most. And I saw that it was in Los Angeles and San Francisco that it was selling each year a crazy amount of bikes there, mainly the road bikes, which are the seem to be the best selling bike. But I was seeing and I saw that how um, Los Angeles and San Francisco make up much more than half of what they were selling than what the rest of the cities were selling. That I have here. Now you can see that are selling much more than everybody else, and that I think it's that they're selling like 155 million more than the rest of the state. So um, this is how much all the states, um, the three top states were selling, and this where it was showing how the road bikes were selling the most in all three of the top states, and then that the second was the mountain bike, and the next was triathlon bike. So this is more of just on a visual bar graph type of way to see how much they were selling. And then I wanted to take a look at the worst sales, which were Nor District Columbia, Maine, North Dakota, South Dakota, Vermont, West Virginia, Wyoming, and that if I was a company and I was looking into which ones I would be trying to sell or invest into, then I would definitely be trying to stay away from these while if we look back and hear that in California, then even in California's worst, they were selling 38 million um, for the triathlon bikes. We look over here, and in the best, District Columbia was only selling 1 million throughout the whole thing, not just one bike. Throughout all of District Columbia for all bikes, they only sold 1 million. So I definitely would not be looking towards District Columbia or any of these places to market or push my marketing platform there. But then you can also see here that they were talking, or that we were looking at, for when they were sales or years of sales, that places like North Dakota, West Virginia, and South Dakota, they only sold in 2016, or they only sold 1 year out of the 4 years, 5 years, and that really has an effect on exactly how much they would be selling. So a conclusion that we came to is like that um, the data that I was able to come up with was that it would definitely be best to push in California, especially in Los Angeles or San Francisco, that if you wanted to make the most from your marketing, definitely push there. While places to avoid would be these places here, because you would not be getting any source of income from these places.